Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. Today is Thursday. Happy Thursday morning to you. I hope that your morning is going well. Today, we're not talking food. We're not talking clean your house. We're going to be talking homeschool. So tomorrow we'll do a video on food. So if you don't homeschool your child, you don't have to watch today's video if you don't want to. But I've had a lot of requests to share a little bit more about my homeschooling. A lot of you don't even know that I homeschool. A lot of you don't know that I have curriculum. And so I thought, I need to share that in today's video. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm outside. It's beautiful outside. I'm like, ooh, I could sit in the house, but I'm like, the birds are chirping. The sun is out. It's a nice day. I've got my cup of coffee steaming away outside here. And I'm like, I need to come outside and talk. All right, so I have been homeschooling for a long time. My oldest daughter, was in school until like about a month into second grade. And we pulled her out of school. And the reason why we pulled her out of school is because I had another friend who had homeschooled, and I was like, okay, and I didn't really know much about it, didn't know really anything, like just sounded great. Like I hated sending her to school every day. Like I pictured myself as a teacher, and I would always do books with her and stuff, and I'm like, I hated that I sent her away. Well, then my husband was working a night shift at the time, and I thought the next year I was like, wow, I'm gonna have to take her to school and take the next one to preschool, and I'm gonna have a baby. And I'm like, I'm gonna be running in and out all the time. And then I'm like, wait a minute, by the time we get back, we're not even gonna see you, or they're not gonna have a chance to even spend time with you. And so we started homeschooling out of convenience. That's how we started. And so when we did it, I had a girlfriend tell me, she's like, because I was like, oh my goodness, it's so hard. She has such an attitude. She's young, mind you, and she doesn't want to do anything with me, this and that. And my girlfriend said, just get used to being home. Like, you know, if your kids are in school, when you have a long break, like a vacation, you find that they have to acclimate for a few days, right, to the siblings in the home? Yes, because they have to get used to it. It's like almost detoxing from school. I know, that sounds crazy. And I would see it on the weekends a little bit, where I was like, it would take her time to like, okay, and then get used to being home and enjoy it. And so homeschooling was the same way. I found that we had to detox from what she was doing all the time before to just enjoy being at home. And so when I tell people when they homeschool, I'm like, and do nothing. Do absolutely nothing. I know myself, I was like, I can't do that. She's going to fail. So I'd pull these books out, we'd do stuff, and it was just stressful. And, you know, we'd end up arguing and fighting with your second grader, mind the way. And I realized, you know what, let's just enjoy. Let's just enjoy. Let's watch TV. Let's play games. Let's have snacks. Let's go for walks. Let's go to the park. Let's just have fun. And we did. And guess what? We started enjoying being home and learning a whole new routine that way. There was always time to catch up. There's always time to catch up. You could do absolutely nothing with your child, and then catch up on everything in a year. I know, don't tell anybody I said that, but you can. People don't believe it, but it's true. So we did that, and we just started doing that, and then as kids came, we did it. And then there were some years where I had a lot of babies, where I remember doing like very minimal school. We bought, like, for the first few years, we would just do those little workbooks from this, you know, whatever, Walmart or Myers, whatever we had, just that's what we used for a while. I never bought curriculum when she was younger. And then as she got older, I started finding like Abeka. Never bought it new. I would always buy it used, like the textbook. She liked that stuff. Ashton really enjoyed doing textbook style learning. And so as she did school, we would get the textbooks and she would answer the questions. I was like, you don't have to answer that. And she really enjoyed it. She's a very driven girl. And so she would enjoy doing it that way. And then when she was in high school, still, again, I'm learning all this, mind you. No, nothing was set in stone. We would get a couple curriculums and a couple, like, you know, workbooks, things like that. And she really did enjoy just doing the old school textbooks with answers. And so we threw in a bunch of extra stuff there. And then when she wanted to go to college, she went to a business college for education. And so in Michigan, there was no law. So when she went, she had, they just took her and they just did testing, and they just put her in. No, actually, you didn't even have to take a test. You didn't. They just put you in like a beginner, I'm going to say beginner English, there's no math, beginner English course, so that just to make sure that you know everything. And there was a beginner math, because I remember she's like, Mom, you never went over, what was it, probability? Like we did like the basic of probability, but all the extra probability, I'm like, you're never going to use this. Like, you're never going to do this unless you're a gambler. And I know that's the wrong answer. And she's like, wow, I had to learn that. And she did. And she learned it. And she learned it in a shorter amount of time and got it. And now she's getting her master's. So she was very career driven. That's what she wants to do. She's got her education. She's got her education. She's got her bachelor's, and she's working on her master's right now. And so she really enjoys school that way. Are all my kids that way? No, none of them are all that way. And that's the great thing. Do all your kids have to go to college? No. I know, my goodness, what? Yes, your kids do not have to go to college to succeed in this world. Don't let the world tell you that the only way your kids are going to do good is by going to college. No, that's not true. So we need hands-on workers. We need self-employed businesses. We need people that do their own thing and go out and create a career out of doing something that you never thought that they would even do. So she did that way. And then my other ones, we've done different things where we've done workbooks. And I would find that when I would buy a curriculum, we did a lot of rod and staff because I liked plain. Like I had a lot of the fluffed up things. Like we did a lot of the Sunlight, where it was a lot of the reading books. And then I just found that it took so much time to go through all of the questions and all of this stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness, we're here all day long. And meanwhile, we had babies and kids and life. And I'm like, this is not even cool. And so we would just enjoy reading the books. We'd read the books and then we'd talk about them. We'd discuss things further, in depth on them. And did we cover everything? They said no, but we just talked. We enjoyed, So we did things a little bit differently that way. And then I just was like, the internet was kind of coming out and I was kind of searching things and I realized there's like a lot of basic curriculum out there. And I was like, not a lot, but there was some, and it was like based on McGuffey books. And so we would get the McGuffey books and we'd read them. And I was like, I love this simple approach. I really enjoy this basic approach, like Little House on the Prairie approach, real simple and basic. And then we discovered an Amish publication, and it was Pathway Publishers. And so you can't buy them. I don't think they probably are not online because they're Amish. And so you'd actually have to mail in your stuff to them. And they would send you books. And it was what they taught Amish kids. And it was like just a basic schooling, but it covered reading, writing, and arithmetic. And so we enjoyed doing that. That was really good doing that. And then there was like a Mennonite one, and it was Christian Light Education. And we started doing some of that. And then there was rod and staff. And so all those we kind of did, but I found that there was like so much repetition on the problems and so much of this. And my kids were like so sick of doing it. I was like, oh my goodness, okay, just do half of those, just do that. And so then after doing that for a little while, I was like, oh, we're spending so much and we're not even doing all of this. So I really enjoyed the concept of basic and simple and just covering the basics with that stuff. And so we were gonna, the one year we bought some books and I'm like, these were good. Okay, we'll just get them the next year. Well, then that year is when it was 2008, I think it was, when everything crashed, the economy crashed. Well, we were part of that economy crash. My husband worked in the automobile industry and his job was boom, cut. So instead of buying curriculum that year, I was like, what am I going to do? So I had someone give us a printer for something, for church using it. And this printer printed off like a lot of paper for cheap. And so I started looking up things on the internet and finding like free pages to download and print off. And I thought, if I could just print off pages for the kids, that'd be great. So I counted 180 days of school and I printed off 180 pages, based on what they had to learn for that year. And so we did that for English and for math, for spelling, and some writing ideas. I did that for all my kids. There were so many free things. I was like, wow, this is awesome. It took some time to put it together. I was feeling accomplished. I'm like, wow, we can do this. And we did it. We had a great year. We had fun. We got to have time to do things we wanted to do. Plus we got school in. Well, then the next year I was like, okay, I was going to buy curriculum. I was like, well, we can just get if you want to. And then I was like, you know what? I really enjoyed what we did this last year. Why didn't I just do that again? So started looking, and then it was like, there wasn't as much readily available things as there was the year before. It was like, click here, you can only get 5 pages for the day. Or click here and you got to sign up and then get a password, blah, 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 and download. And I was like, what? Where's all the free stuff? So I was like, if I ever did anything, I would just offer it for free and just give it away. And that is where my curriculum comes into play. And so over the next couple of years, I just saw a desire, instead of buying the curriculum, I was like, I'll just write it for my kids. So I did. So it's a very basic curriculum. It's not anything like, you're not going to go and buy it as a textbook. You get it from Amazon, the book comes. It covers the basics for your children. So let me show you what we got. We're gonna be able to do this, right? I should put it on a screen like real professional, but I'm not going to. But this is my blog, plainandnotsoplain.com, started a long time ago. And you can go to my homeschooling curriculum page. You can scroll up. There's a little video about my curriculum. It just kind of goes through and says, okay, if you're not looking for perfection, this is for you. And perfection meaning like, it is just me doing this. I offer this for free. I don't pay anybody you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to sign up for my website. You can just come and download and print it off for free. That's how free it is. So I said, if you can handle like a couple typing errors or like a mistake on, there's a few, not crazy. Usually people are very kind and they'll send it to me and say, hey, on page 45, I found this wrong or something like that. And so that's where this is, and that's what I explained it. So I'm not charging anybody $50 a download, because hey, if I was getting $50 a download, then I would be paying somebody to edit my work, and I'm not, so it's free. But for the most part, it's good. It's very little, but it's basic, which is good. And so I have, yes, scroll up here, the red one is first grade curriculum. Why did I not do a kindergarten curriculum? Because I feel like kindergarten is where a child should just play and learn and start basics. You can go to Walmart and get a $5 book, and if you really want to sit down with them and do something, go ahead, but you don't need to. You can get some writing pad paper, start practicing writing letters, and then like do the letter A, and then go find things that start with the letter A and have them, trace out the letter A with flour, or, just different things that you can, there's so much you can do to like do hands-on learning. And so do that, do math, do real life math with objects and, colors and numbers, all those things. I kind of figured people would do a lot of that themselves, so I didn't do that in a curriculum-based thing because there's so much free out there you can do for your child. So I started with first grade. And first grade, you just click on it. This one will take you, let's see how slow my internet is outside, and it's free printable. You take it and you print it off. All you need is ink and paper. Now, I had a really cheap printer, and I was able to buy 2 cartridges like online for $2 from one of those Ink Plus websites, and I was able to print off an entire box of paper, like what is it, like how many, is there 7, 8 packs of paper in a box? And I was able to use like 2 cartridges. Well, fast forward, now I have a printer. That printer does not, like those cartridges are like $25, and they don't even print off a whole container of paper. So it's expensive, and that's where I'm gonna get into something else in just a minute. So if you have a really cheap way to print it, yeah, here you go. Look at like Goodwill, look for like a used printer that works, where you can find cheap ink. And so I have the curriculum download, and then I included Starfall. Starfall.com is a free website. When I started homeschooling way back in the day with my oldest ones, they actually would mail you the books for free. And so you could sign up and you could actually get the books at home for free. Didn't cost you anything. So I would use those a lot. Well, then as they got bigger and bigger, which is awesome, they now sell the books, which is cool, but they give it to you free as a download. So I recommend putting there. They have great books to print off and practice reading. They got writing journals, all those kind of things. So I did that. And then I had filler works. Filler work. I say filler work. Do you need filler work? No, you don't. But it has things like included mazes and different things like that and things to do. And that's how we did school. So this is a good way for first grade. Very simple. And then I have second through ninth grade is what I have. But most include a math, an English, spelling, and I also have a left-handed spelling as well, because Jaden is left-handed, and I would do her spelling with her, and I'm like, why are you having a hard time writing it? Why is it all turned? She's like, Mom, I'm left-handed. I'm not left-handed, so I don't know how left-handed works. So then I was like, oh, I need a left-handed spelling book. And I'm like, how many kids in school are left-handed and don't have left-handed paper? Probably a ton. So I have left-handed spelling pages for your child as well. So you can download all these separately. What I did is I would do all of those, and then I would take the first one page of each one, like put math, English, spelling, and then I'd go back, math, English, spelling, and then we'd paper hole punch it and put them in folders. We did them in a big notebook, and then I would do enough for like every month and put them in folders. I got 10-cent folders at Walmart, and I would do a folder for September, a folder for October, a folder for November, and that's how we did it that way. And that worked out really good, and it was kind of like the consumable books you would buy, and you'd finish one a month. It worked really good. So we did that. I have that for math, for second grade. When I go to third grade, I started including reading comprehension, because we would read books aloud. Now, the reading comprehension stuff is not all mine. I just recommended books, and then I went online and I found websites that would have pages to ask your child. So if you would click on reading comprehension for third grade, you would get the PDF download of the books that I recommended, and then you would click on like Prairie School. Prairie School was one of the books they had, and then this would take you to another website, which is not mine, but it's a PDF of questions for the book. So chapter 1, they would ask, where did they move from? What year did the story take place? And it goes through all the different chapters that the book has, which gives you some way to help your child make sure they're reading, because I was not able to read every single book with my child because I had a lot of kids. And so I included that in there as well. And then I started giving cursive in there too for your child. If you wanted, the spelling was regular and it was also cursive. Not everybody did cursive in third grade, but I included it in there. And then fourth grade was the same way. fifth grade, I have the same thing for them. And then I started including vocabulary words. Actually, and do I have it in, not in third grade, fourth grade. Fourth grade, I started including vocabulary words. And those were just list of words so that your child, I give you different ideas, like how you can incorporate vocab into your curriculum, your schooling. I have it 4th through 9th grade. So you just click it. I gave instructions on how to, what you can, ideas of how you can implement it in your schooling. So a lot of it's, what you want to do with it. And so we did that 4th, 5th, 6th grade. I include the same thing. And 7th grade, 8th grade, and 9th grade, I just have math and English/writing, because I talked last week about what we do for high school. I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. Let me tell you in just a second. And then I've also have math drills, math speed drills. I feel like your child needs, I always tell my kids, you need to know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. If you can learn those facts pretty good, everything will kind of come easy in life. So we have tons of pages for the speed drills. And so we just did when they get to an age where you feel like you can do it good, we just practice it. Okay, do it every day. Do it every day until you get it. And so there's a whole thing to download in there. I also have writing prompts for lower elementary, where you get them, you print them off, and then go get one of those composition notebooks. And what I did is I cut the page, the words. It was like a writing prompt, what would I do? What's my favorite thing to do on a sunny day? That's just one example. And then I pasted it on the top of the page, and then each page, the next one would have a different question. What's my favorite vegetable? And then they'd have to write a little bit, maybe just finish a sentence. There's enough for lower, and there's also an upper elementary that has cursive on it as well, so they can practice reading the cursive, because that's another skill. And then I had copy work I have more boys upper elementary. And that's funny because that would have been made for my son. Can you use it for a girl? It's been a long time. I'd have to look and see. And then they had journaling for middle school and journaling for middle school, high school as well. Just different things. They copy to practice writing. They're writing things like that. So, and then science, we like Jonathan Park. Jonathan Park is you can get the app for it. We used to have the CD. Well, we do have the CDs still, and they're audio stories, and they're biblical audio stories. And then they go so much in depth about the creation of science, stuff that I don't understand. It's not my gifting. It doesn't interest me, but it's very cool. And they have these little teacher books to give you as well, download. So you learn so much more than what the story is telling you. So those are a great resource. They now have an app. I think I'm going to say $10 a month. I have it linked below. And you can go on there and you can just go and listen to it. We put it in the car, and then we can go through the questions as well. Great stories. Bible, I have Bible, Old Testament. That was the only one I got through where you just kind of read. I didn't put answers because that I feel is a personal preference. It's not right or wrong answer, but it just gets you going and reading through with your child and answering it together. And then we had a nature course that we did with some books that are recommended in here. History, American history. There was one for elementary and middle and high school. We ended up doing that together, so I separated a little bit. There's books in there, there's DVDs in there, there's different things to base it on, and so we have that in there. And then I have remedial elementary. This is the part where if you did nothing with your child, you can do things like this and they will be fine. There are books out there for your child, for people that come to our country, America here, that have never had schooling before in their life. And they can take one course in math, one course in English, a class, for a year, and learn everything they have to know that you have learned in school for the last, 10 years. So that is the great part of it. And so some of you emailed me and I sent you to the one for high school. I have elementary. I don't have high school because I didn't see the need to write that out. But this, I have a remedial math, and it's 1st through 5th grade, because I wrote this originally because I was teaching my kids who were in all those grades. And so we did a one-room schoolroom. And so we just did a little bit less with the younger ones and a little bit more with the older ones. And so there's math, there's English, and there's a thinking skills that gets them to practice reading, get them to think about things, got vocabulary words, things like that. You can download those as well and just do a page just to practice and review. You can do it through the summer. That's a great way too. And then I have home ec skills. That was something else I do. I have a life skills for guys, home ec for kitchen, and personal household skills. These were based from my daughter. People are you're choosing gender, this and that. Well, I wrote them for my daughter because I wanted her to learn some kitchen skills. I wanted her to learn some basic things that I felt am I teaching? Because as you're doing it every day, you're oh, I never taught her that, or I never showed you that. And so don't you find that as parents, the things you forget? And so I'm if I write a course out for her, then she'll be able to make sure she covers everything that she learns. And so that was based for Ashlyn, the kitchen skill one. And then I did a personal one with household skills, cleaning, that kind of thing. And then I had my son come up. I did my older son. he went and started working with my husband right away. So I didn't really have the time to have to teach him anything. Like, I mean, he learned life skills, but it wasn't like I had to come up with school curriculum. And so then I didn't do it until Evan was up there, and it was just more guys things and different things to take care of yourself as a guy. So, and those home ec courses, you can go on here, which is cool. You can download those, or you can go here, you can download the book. You can also go on my blog here. I have a whole course that you can just get for free right on my blog. You can take it. You can download the PDF, and then you can also go to Amazon and buy the books too if you want, but if not, you can just do it for free. So, practical homeschooling. Do you remember when I had you guys? I said that I was nominated for my curriculum for their magazine. Which school? This is a cool magazine. Mary Pride does this magazine. I've been following her for a long time, since the beginning of my journey. She's been around for a long time doing homeschooling. These are great magazines to get. Practical Homeschooling, if you go to your library and check them out and see if they have them, these cover like just different things for homeschooling, like magazines. Do you ever get magazines? No, and this is what's great. When the kids are bored, bring them out. They're inner digital artists, and it goes through, just different stories and stuff like that. They have day in the lives of a homeschool family. I always love reading those because I'm like, what are people doing during the day? How are they doing their schooling? And so there's such a variety of things. And so this is pretty cool. Well, I had you guys, I sent this there, said I was nominated, and guess what? My home economics skills won first place this year. So that's pretty exciting. I've placed for a few years now. I'm gonna say three years now with it, and this is my first year of having first place. So that's pretty. Last year I tied for first, and this year I won first place. So that was pretty cool. So thank you guys for those that voted. Here it is. Got my little reward here. And this is great, but it's great. Her magazine is huge. She's got, lots of subscribers to this, and people see that, and then they can go here. They can say, what is this Amy Maryon? And they can go to my site, and they can go, oh, wow, she has free curriculum. So it's been a tool. Her magazine a long time ago, way back in the beginning when I started my blog, before I vlogged, I advertised with her. I just bought a tiny little ad, and it was more like, hey, let me drive people to my site to show them that I have free stuff, because I'm like, how do you get this out? And so I'm so thankful for this platform, because I can share with you, hey, there's free curriculum, and I have it for you for free. There's no signing up anything. Now you can buy it if you want, but you don't have to. It's all free. That you get everything that you get when you buy it. That's the cool thing. And so that's what I'm excited for, because she actually is doing, if you get the magazine, the next magazine where they announce the winners, she actually interviews me in her magazine. That was pretty cool. And so it will share my website and all my free stuff with people. And that's what I'm excited for, because I want parents to know that, hey, you don't have to have all the bells and whistles, expensive curriculum. And you can. If you got that, that's great. But if you can't afford to homeschool, you can still do it and do a good job for free, which is awesome. And then still enjoy time with your kids and let them play and have fun, which is awesome. So thank you, Mary. So Practical Homeschooling, I'm going to be in their next issue. So go check them out. Go check them out at your library. And thank you for those that voted for that. So that was an exciting thing. So that was my home economics curriculum. So that's on here. And then here you can buy all those classes that I showed you, the first grade and the second grade math and English and spelling. They are in book form as well on Amazon. So you can just click here. It'll take you to Amazon. You can buy it. Still inexpensive for the whole entire year, and it includes everything that's free on my site. It's just that when I started doing this, I did it for free, and then I realized, oh, it costs you more to print it than anything. So I went to Amazon and started putting it in book form for those. It's still cheaper to buy it that way than it is to print off the pages. So we have all the way up through, we have 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. I don't have 9th on there because it wasn't, we just did complete for 8th grade. So, and then I have a cursive book, and then I included stuff for the summer, because this year we're not doing anything in the summer. No, we're taking a break this summer because life is busy. But in years past, like last year and for the last few years, I was like, they need something to do, something to keep their skills up. So I would do a review for summer review. And this was something that took them maybe a half hour, 45 minutes a day, gave them time to read, but it kept them busy besides staring at their devices all day long. So we have 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade summer review, which is good. It kind of keeps their skills up for the summer. Those you can get on Amazon as well. And so then I have my life skills for young men, and then I also have my kitchen skills and personal household management skills. And then I put those 2 books into one, and then put a devotion in there for young ladies as well. So those you can get for free on there. Or you can buy those on Amazon, but you can get the courses right here for free on my site. So if you can't buy them, don't worry about it. You can just get them right here on my blog. So, and then I have the answer keys for the books. So I didn't put them in the actual books because it was so much more paper, and I didn't want to cost an arm and a leg for everybody. So you can just download the PDF for free and have the answer keys. So that is what I have on here. This is the course right here. Online course. and free online course right here. And then here's my reader work for last year. So this is what I do. This is what I did before I vlogged. And so I love sharing. I love to be able to share with people that, hey, you can homeschool and not have to, know what you're doing, and you can still do a good job with everything. And so then I talked also about high school, because when you get to high school, it gets a little scarier, like my child's going to fail. This is the book I was talking about. I ordered this on Amazon. This is Senior High, a Home Design Form Plus U Plus LA. This book is great. This is an old book. I had to buy this used. I think I paid $10, $15 for it. Look on Amazon for this book. She did a Barb. Her name is Barb, I think. Yeah, Barb Shelton. She did this is where I learned to do unschooling and document it for college, because I didn't know how to do that. This book is in depth. It's more of a conversational style writing. There is a lot of stuff in here, a lot, but it gives you so many good ideas. Like, I was able to go in here and go, oh, I would have never think to document it that way, or oh, I would have no idea. Like, she's got everything laid out, like, so in depth. I was kind of like, well, maybe I'll read through and do like a review of this, but I'm like, there's just so much information in here that I recommend you get in this book right here. So look this book up right here. Take a screenshot, boom, and go look this up on Amazon. It's not new. It's going to be used, because she wrote this a long time ago. But it's the same concept. So if you need to keep record, like Michigan, we didn't have to keep any record of anything. So, but I did with my first one, because she wanted to go to college, and I was so paranoid. And so I had to learn how to do a transcript, how to, base her hours, how to do those things. And that's scary. This book covers all of that, which is awesome. And it's inexpensive. She tells you how to do it. So then after that, I was like, oh, I don't really need to do that, as long as I kind of know that they're doing something every day. So as you have more kids, if you have a lot, you can, test your theory out, how well you do by the end ones. But this will help you record keep. This will keep it, because a lot of states do have you keep records. A lot of states make you document things. And so this book will be a lifesaver. So check this out. Look this up. Look for it. If you don't find any used, wait for a little bit and then buy some, because I know sometimes if you don't have it on there, it's like $90 a book. Don't pay that. I want to say it was like $20, less than 20. But this was really good for keeping record and track of everything. So, all right, so the Practical Homeschooling awards are going to be announced in the summer issue, which will be coming out real soon here. So you can see my little article that she interviewed. It's not this one right here, but it's the next one that's coming out. And so she'll interview me, and then I also am advertising in her magazine this year. So because I was a winner, I was like, that's awesome. So I'm going to be able to share with others about my free curriculum for everybody. So I'm excited for that. I'm super excited, because if I can give tools to another family to help them in their life, that makes me feel good. It's like, that's a good thing to do. So, all right, so I'm going to go. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, just shorter, just for homeschooling. I'm going to go finish out my day today. Tomorrow's going to be a Gather Your Fragment Friday, so you got some food coming on. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any more questions, anything you want to ask me, put your questions in the comment section below, and I will answer them or put together another video, because I start these and I start talking. I'm like, is this what they want to hear? I don't know. So send me any questions, any comments, anything you want to hear. Anything I can share, because I love to be able to share. I'm like, oh, I forget, like, oh, I should share about that. Like that book, I was like, I forgot about that. And I'm like, I need to get that book and show you, because this book was awesome. And all right, so I'm going to go. Let's go read our Bible for the day. All right, let's read Psalm 104, the Lord's care over all his works. Bless and affectionately praise the Lord, O my soul. O Lord my God, you are very great. You are clothed with splendor and majesty. You are the one who covers yourself with light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a tent curtain, who lays the beams of his upper chambers in the waters, who makes the clouds his chariot, who walks in the wings of the wind, who makes winds his messengers, flames of fire his ministers. He established the earth on its foundations so that it will not be moved forever and ever. You covered it with the deep as with garment. The waters were standing above the mountains. At your rebuke they fled. At the sound of your thunder they hurried away. The mountains rose, the valleys sank down to the place which you established for them. You set a boundary for the waters that they may not cross over, so that they will not return to cover the earth. You send springs into the valleys, their waters flow among the mountains. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild donkeys quench their thirst there. Besides them, the birds of the heavens have their nest. They lift up their voices and sing among the branches. He waters the mountains from his upper chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of his works. He causes grass to grow for the cattle, and all the earth produces for cultivation by man, so that he may bring food from the earth, and wine which makes the heart of man glad, so that he may make his face glisten with oil, and bread to sustain and strengthen man's heart. The trees of the Lord drink their fill, the cedars of Lebanon which he has planted. Where the birds make their nest, as for the stork, the fir trees are her house. The high mountains are for the wild goats. The rocks are a refuge for the Shephanim. He made the moon for the seasons. The sun knows the exact place of its setting. You, O Lord, make darkness, and it becomes night, in which prowls about every wild beast of the forest. The young lions roar after their prey and seek their food from God. When the sun arises, they withdraw and lie down in their dens. Man goes out to his work and remains at his labor until evening. O Lord, how many and varied are your works. In wisdom you have made them all. The earth is full of your riches and your creatures. There is the sea, great and broad, in which are swarms without numbers. Creatures both small and great. There the ships of the sea sail, and Leviathan, the sea monster, which you have formed to play there. They all wait for you, to give them their food in its appointed season. You give it to them, they gather it up. You open your hand, they are filled and satisfied with good things. You hide your face, they are dismayed. You take away their breath, they die and return to their dust. You send out your spirit, they are created. You renew the face of the ground. May the glory of the Lord endure forever. May the Lord rejoice and be glad in his works. He looks at the earth and it trembles. He touches the mountains and they smoke. I will sing to the Lord as long as I live. I will sing praise to my God while I have my being. May my meditation be sweet and pleasing to him. As for me, I will rejoice and be glad in the Lord. Let sinners be consumed from the earth, and let the wicked be no more. Bless and affectionately praise the Lord, O my soul. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. That's a good psalm to read. So, all right, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you guys again tomorrow with another video. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.